Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English the Natural Way. I'm Alex.
And I'm Linda. Alex, something confused me yesterday, and I think you can help.
Of course. What happened?
I was writing a message to my friend, and I wrote, "I'll see you in Monday." It didn't feel right.
Ah, I see the problem. It should be on Monday, not in Monday.
On Monday? Why on?
Good question. We use on for specific days, like Monday, or dates, like the 5th of July.
Okay, so days and dates take on. What about in?
In is for longer periods, like months, years, or seasons. In July, in 2024, in summer.
So bigger chunks of time use in, and specific days use on.
Exactly. Let me give you an example. I was born in July, but my birthday party is on the 5th.
In July, the month, on the 5th, the exact day.
You've got it already.
Before we continue, one small request. If this is helping you, please like this video, subscribe to English the Natural Way, and share it with someone learning English.
Thank you so much. Okay, Linda, what about time, like 3 o'clock?
I actually don't know this one. What do we use?
We use at for exact times and a few special expressions. At 3 o'clock, at night, at the weekend.
At night? Not in night?
Right. Night is a small exception. We say at night, but in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening.
That's strange. Why is night different?
Honestly, it's just how English developed over time. Some expressions don't follow the pattern perfectly, and this is one of them.
Okay, so on for days and dates, in for months, years, and seasons, and at for exact times and night.
Exactly. Let's try one together. My flight leaves 6 in the morning, Tuesday.
At 6 in the morning on Tuesday.
Perfect. What about the shop closes midnight?
At midnight, because it's an exact time.
You're getting this fast.
I think hearing it in real sentences makes it so much easier than just memorizing a list.
That's exactly the idea. Actually, can I ask you something now? What about holidays like Christmas?
I would guess on Christmas because it feels like a specific day.
Close, but actually it depends. We say on Christmas Day because day makes it specific, but we say at Christmas when we mean the whole holiday period.
Oh, that's tricky. So at Christmas means the whole few days around it?
Exactly. Like, what are you doing at Christmas means the whole holiday season, not just one date.
And on Christmas Day means the exact 25th of December.
Perfect. The same happens with at Easter versus on Easter Sunday.
I never noticed that difference before. It actually makes sense once you explain it this way.
Grammar often makes more sense with real examples than with rules alone.
I completely agree. Can we talk about place now? I always confuse in, on, and at when I'm describing where something is.
Sure, this is actually connected to what we just learned, but for locations instead of time.
Okay, tell me the pattern.
We use at for a specific point, like an address or a precise spot. At the bus stop, at the door, at 24 Elm Street.
A specific point, like a tiny dot on a map.
Exactly, a nice way to picture it. Then we use on for a surface or a line, like a road or a floor.
On the table, on the second floor, on Main Street.
Right, because those are all surfaces or lines, not enclosed spaces.
And in is for enclosed spaces, right? Like inside something.
Exactly. In the room, in the box, in the city.
In the city because a city is like a big enclosed area with borders around it.
Perfect. Let's try one. I left my keys The kitchen table.
On the kitchen table, because a table is a surface.
Great. What about she's waiting the airport?
In the airport, because it's an enclosed space.
And if I said she's waiting at the airport?
Is that also correct?
It is. At the airport treats it as a general point or destination, while in the airport focuses on being physically inside the building.
Oh, so sometimes both are possible, just with a slightly different feeling.
Exactly, and that's completely normal in English. Many prepositions have some flexibility depending on what you want to emphasize.
That actually makes me feel a little relieved. I thought there was always just one correct answer.
There often is one natural answer, but sometimes, like with at the airport or in the airport, a small shade of meaning changes rather than the sentence being wrong.
I like thinking about it as a shade of meaning rather than right or wrong.
That's a healthy way to approach grammar in general. Actually, this reminds me of something that happened to me last month.
Tell me.
I was supposed to pick up my parents from the airport. My mother texted me, "We're waiting at the airport," and I got confused because I thought they meant outside, near the taxi stand.
Oh no, where were they actually?
They were inside, near the baggage area. I stood outside for almost 20 minutes before I called her.
So the at made you think of the general area, but she meant a more specific spot inside.
Exactly. In real life, context usually helps people understand which one you mean, but that day, it caused a small, funny misunderstanding.
That's such a relatable story. Even native-sounding phrases can still cause confusion sometimes.
Definitely. It taught me to always ask a follow-up question if I'm not sure exactly where someone means.
That's good advice, actually, for any conversation, not just about prepositions.
Very true. Let's continue with a few more examples together.
Okay, I'm ready.
My brother lives London.
In London, because a city is an enclosed area.
And we met the corner of the street.
At the corner, because it's a specific point.
Perfect. And there's a poster, the wall.
On the wall, because a wall is a surface.
You're really getting the pattern now.
This feels so much clearer with real places instead of abstract rules.
That's exactly the goal. Now let's connect this back to time again, because there's one more small piece I think would help.
Go ahead.
What about prepositions with dates that include the day and the month together, like the 5th of July?
I would guess on, because it's still a specific day.
Exactly right. On the 5th of July, on the 3rd of March. Full specific dates still use on.
Even though July uses in and the 5th uses on, together they still become on?
Precisely, because the whole phrase is now naming one specific day, not the whole month.
That's a really useful detail. I think I would have made that mistake.
It's a very common mistake, actually, so don't worry. Even advanced learners mix this up sometimes.
That's comforting to hear. Can we do a quick game now to practice everything together?
Let's do it. I'll start a sentence, you finish it with the right preposition.
Okay, I'm ready.
The meeting is Friday morning.
On Friday morning. Friday is a specific day.
My cousin was born 1998.
In 1998, because it's a year.
The keys are the drawer.
In the drawer, because a drawer is an enclosed space.
We'll meet the entrance.
At the entrance, because it's a specific point.
The picture is hanging the wall.
On the wall, a surface again.
I always relax evening.
In the evening, following the pattern with morning and afternoon.
Let's make it a little harder now. Ready?
Ready.
The concert starts 8 Saturday.
At 8 on Saturday, both an exact time and a specific day.
Excellent. My grandmother was born a small village, the mountains.
This one is trickier. I would say in a small village in the mountains because both are enclosed or surrounded areas.
Perfect. Exactly right. One more. The letter was written 1920, and it was found an old box, the attic.
In 1920 for the year, in an old box, and in the attic because both are enclosed spaces.
Wonderful. You didn't hesitate at all with that one.
I think once the pattern clicks, it becomes almost automatic.
That's exactly the goal, for it to feel automatic instead of like a rule you're checking in your head.
I actually feel that happening already, even during this conversation.
Perfect score, Linda. You really understand this now.
I think doing it through real sentences instead of just studying a chart made everything stick so much better.
That's exactly why we build our episodes this way. Real moments, real confusion, and then the pattern becomes clear naturally.
I actually want to go back and fix that message I sent my friend.
Ah, right. I'll see you in Monday.
Yes, I need to change it to I'll see you on Monday.
A perfect way to end this lesson, fixing the very mistake that started it.
It feels satisfying, actually, going back and correcting something now that I understand why it was wrong.
That's a great feeling. And I think many of our listeners have messages just like that one, sitting somewhere in their own chat history.
Maybe they should go check now while it's still fresh in their minds.
That's a lovely idea. Let's do a full summary now, nice and slow, for anyone still listening closely.
On for specific days and full dates, like on Monday or on the 5th of July.
In for months, years, and seasons, like in July, in 2024, in summer.
At for exact times and a few exceptions, like at 3 o'clock, at night, and at the weekend.
And for holidays, on Christmas Day for the exact date, but at Christmas for the whole holiday period.
For places, at is for a specific point, like at the door or at the bus stop.
On is for a surface or line, like on the table or on Main Street.
And in is for an enclosed space, like in the room or in the city.
A few words carry so much meaning once you really notice the pattern.
They really do. I think I'll actually start noticing this everywhere now, in messages, in conversations, even in songs.
That's exactly what we want. Once you noticed it in real language, it stops feeling like grammar and starts feeling like just English.
I really love that thought.
You know, thinking back to when I first learned English, prepositions were actually the hardest part for me too.
Really? Even harder than verb tenses?
Honestly, yes. Tenses at least follow clearer patterns most of the time. Prepositions often feel random until you've heard them enough times in real sentences.
That's comforting to hear, actually. I thought I was just bad at this specific part of English.
Not at all. Almost every learner struggles with this exact topic, no matter their native language.
Do you have any tips for remembering them, besides just listening to episodes like this one?
Honestly, the best trick I found was learning small, fixed phrases as one unit instead of translating word by word, like at night, in time, on the weekend. Just memorize the whole little phrase.
Oh, that's smart. Instead of asking why this preposition, just accept the phrase as its own small piece.
Exactly. Over time, your brain starts noticing the pattern naturally without you even trying.
I think that's basically what's happening to me right now during this conversation.
I think so too. Before we finish, is there anything else that's confused you recently, since today turned out to be so helpful?
Actually, yes. One more small thing. What about in time and on time? I always mix these two up.
Ah, good one. On time means exactly when planned, not late, not early. The bus arrived on time.
And in time.
In time means before a deadline, with enough time to still do something. I arrived in time to catch the bus.
So in time has a small feeling of just barely making it.
Exactly. A nice way to describe it. There's often a little tension in time, like something almost didn't happen.
That's such a small difference, but it completely changes the feeling of the sentence.
It really does. English is full of these small shades of meaning, hidden inside tiny words.
Can I try making a sentence with both just to check I understand?
Please do.
My train arrived on time, but I almost missed it because I arrived at the station just in time.
Perfect. The train was punctual, exactly as planned, and you personally made it just before the deadline.
Yes, exactly that feeling. I was running through the station and I made it in time, but only just.
That's a great real example. Do you know the phrase, just in time? It adds even more of that close, almost too late feeling.
Oh, so just in time is even more dramatic than plain in time?
Exactly. I arrived just in time sounds more urgent than simply, I arrived in time.
I love how one small word, just, can add so much tension to a sentence.
English does that a lot. Small words carry big feelings.
I love discovering them like this through conversation instead of a textbook.
That's exactly the heart of English the Natural Way. Well, I think that's a wonderful place to finish today.
This episode really turned into more than I expected, starting from one small mistake in a text message.
That's how the best lessons often happen, from a real small moment, not a planned topic.
Let's do the quick summary one more time, properly, for everyone listening.
On specific days and dates, in months, years, and seasons, and enclosed spaces, at exact times, specific points, and a few small exceptions.
And remember, on time means punctual, while in time means just before a deadline.
Small words, but they carry so much meaning.
They really do. Thank you so much for listening to English the Natural Way.
Please subscribe, give this episode a like, and share it with someone learning English.
And we have a question for you today. Write one sentence using on, one using in, and one using at, describing something from your own day.
We would love to read your answers in the comments.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.